airplanes, I'd leave it at home. Let's try to review this real quick. So I asked a lady in a Walmart shirt if there was a sporting goods store in town. And she pointed to the sporting goods department. And I said, no, I mean, is there a store in town that specializes in sporting goods, camping stuff? And she goes, oh golly, I don't know. I said, do you live here? All my life. So then, with no fuel, I drove up to Hunter yesterday, and I was going to camp at the North-South Lake campground, and I got there and the campground was closed. Didn't say that on the website, but it's closed. So I drove into town, and there were some guys standing next to their cars at the fire hall. So I figured, well, firefighters, they should know something, right? Well, they're probably maybe in their early 20s. I asked them if there's a place to camp besides the North-South Lake campground, because I'm coming from Minnesota and I need a camp. Kid goes, well, I don't know. I go, well, where's the information center? So I saw a sign that says Catskill Mountains Information Center. And he goes, oh, it's up there by Stewart's. I said, okay. Is it open? He goes, well, it's more just a shack. You're probably going to want him to go to Stewart's. Stewart's is going to give you some good information. So I drove up there. I've got video of the shack. It's basically just you ever been to a hotel like in the Dells or something, and there'll be that one rack that just has nothing but a bunch of brochures for crap they want you to go do with your family? Yeah, well, that's what the information shack is. So I walked into Stewart's, and thankfully, while I was in Stewart's, Officer Dinkleton walked in. And I know his name, we'll get to that later. And I said, hey, I'm glad you're here. I said, explain my situation, looking for a place to camp. He was like, gosh, I don't know. I said, sometimes, when you're hiking, if you get there early, you'll just camp at the, you'll spend the night in the car at the trailhead. Can you do that? He goes, yeah. He goes, well, I'm off at 11. The troopers don't like to come up here. I know the rangers are all gone for the season, he said. So if you go down to the trailhead there and just park your car, sit in your car, I don't think anybody should bother you there. I said, okay. So I drove down there and I was pushing some stuff around. Then he started to embrace the idea of seeing if I could sleep in that Kia Soul that I rented when a car comes coming down the road. I'm like, oh, what the hell is this? It's the cop. The cop says, hey, I got another idea. He says, here's my card. He gave me directions out of town and said, here in Blackhead Mountain. That way. Nice. Looks like we will go that way. North-South Lake campground. That is where I was going to camp. So that would have worked, but no. Anyhow, so he goes, hey, go to the scout camp and talk to Paul. Give him my card. He said, I'm pretty sure Paul will give you a place to stay. To set your tent up, probably charge you a few bucks. I didn't care. I planned on paying for my camping anyway. So I finally found the place, knocked on the door. By now it's about 10:15. Paul answers the door. Now in my mind, while I was driving around trying to find the scout camp, I had this vision of this old Paul, this retired guy, runs a scout camp, give you a bunch of wisdom on the hills here, where the trailheads are. Now mind you, I asked Officer Dinkersall, I don't know, asked him where the trailhead was for this mountain. He goes, I don't know. He goes, lived here all my life. I don't know half the stuff around here. It's just 5 miles out of town. So I got to the camp place, told Paul my story. Dude looks me up and down and starts asking me just a shit pile of questions. Honest to God, like I was some sort of refugee or a spy from the Girl Scouts. So he said he'd set me up. He goes, what do you want? I can give you a campsite for like 20, or I can give you a cabin for 100. Shit, man, if I'd spent 100, I'd have gone and got a bed and breakfast, gotten food to boot. So I said, okay, I'll just see a place to put my tent up, you know. How many nights? I go, well, tonight I go, you know, tomorrow would be great. So he walks me down to his assistant with the worst case of meth mouth I've ever seen. Worst case of meth mouth. Picture the worst case of meth mouth you've ever seen on like a documentary or a billboard or a Dare advertisement. Worse. So he walks down with me. I fill out some paperwork. I give him $30, convince him to let me stay for 2 nights. He tells his buddy to set me up over these platforms and give me some firewood. After he set me up, asked me where the firewood was, and he pointed to a pile of wet firewood next to the fire pit already. I said, well, don't you guys have firewood? So I said, get some firewood. Nope, late in the season, don't have firewood. So I'm getting hooked up. Paul comes by. I asked Paul, have you ever been up to Blackhead and Black Dome? I've been up all these mountains. I go, cool. I go, am I going to need snowshoes this time of year? Oh, hell no, you're not going to need snowshoes. This hike does not happen without snowshoes. So, no matter where you are, nobody knows shit.